Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nate. In most cases, when you're in a relationship with someone for a long time and they propose to you, you feel like you should agree. It only makes sense. There are times when you have to say no. And ladies, you're allowed to say no. But there are times when you feel like maybe this is the last proposal in your life and you agree to marry this person. But to be honest, if you've been seeing red flags, ladies, you don't have to say yes if your spirit is telling you not to marry this person. The simple truth is, not every man is marriage material. Just as they think we are not marriage material, they are not marriage material as well. And the thing is, you have to be the one to agree on this proposal. So we are the ones that have to make the final decision. And you agree to marry this person, even though you can see that this person is not marriage material, just because you want to prove to yourself, to your neighbors and everyone around you that you can be a wife. But there are certain types of guys that you cannot get married to. One of the guys that you cannot get married to, especially if you are a Christian, as I say, especially if you are a Christian, is a guy that is not God-fearing, a person that you are not equally yoked with. How are you going to be a wife to that kind of person? How are you going to bring out godly children with a person that is not equally yoked with you? Because a man's responsibility is to father your children and to become the head of the home. The man that fears God knows his role in the family. And the next point is marrying an abusive man. Ladies, if you see that this person is abusive, don't even marry that kind of person. Sometimes we've got a habit of saying, this person will change, or maybe I will change him. You'll never get to change him if that's who he is. It doesn't matter what kind of abuse it is, whether it's physical or emotional. All those things fall under abuse. Physical abuse can get you end up being in a coffin one day. Emotional abuse can make you being in a mental case one day. So would you rather marry a person that will draw you to that direction just because you want to get married? It's just small. They make those sarcastic comments in public and you just laugh about it without even addressing the issue. If you're still single and you're still in courtship or dating that person, if they make those sarcastic comments, deal with it there and there so that he's aware that you don't like it. Don't laugh about it and say that's how he is. Because eventually he will show you those small patterns of how he is. And once he's married to you, he'll show you who he really is. Because now you can't get out of the situation. And if you do get out of the situation, it will be a process, and it's an emotional process. An abuser will give you those silent treatments in order to manipulate you. And then you end up being the one apologizing for something that you don't even know why you're apologizing, because you don't want to make him angry. Once you see those kind of traits, just get out of the situation if you don't want to leave that house in a coffin. And the next point is, don't marry a jealous man. This kind of man will tell you they're so concerned about you. He will start checking your phone and your messages, who you've been communicating with. And people around you will always tell you that your husband has got a problem, but you will always be the one making excuses for him. And you end up blaming yourself that maybe I'm the one that provoked him. There's nothing like that. He will tell you he's protecting you because you're his wife. And it doesn't click in your mind that you didn't need protection before you married him. This is when he becomes a controlling man. From that jealousy, he becomes a control freak, up to the point that he becomes intimidating and very abusive as well. So avoid getting married to a jealous man. That is why once you notice the smallest signs that this person is a jealous man, then you have to let him go. And the next point is, don't marry a flirt. I've seen women that their husbands are flirts. I encountered one in church the husband is a flirt. All the wife was doing was just smiling. I mean, how do you smile? Because if you have got a husband who's a flirt, because there are chances that your partner will flirt to the wrong person. And this person has got mixed signals. Because some women, they don't care. If you're flirting with them, they'll give you what you want. Obviously, she's used to it. By the time you know it, it ends up being in a relationship. Because the flirting doesn't just end there. So draw your line and have boundaries. The last thing you need is to be married to a person who's a flirt. And they'll end up doing this behind your back. And that person at the end of the day will turn out to be a womanizer. And that's the next kind of man that you shouldn't marry, is a womanizer. You see these traits even before you get married to him. And you think he's going to change. That's who he is. He's not going to change until God changes him. When you have got him with another woman, he will always have an excuse, and you will believe that excuse because you want to become his wife. When you eventually become his wife, one day he will do it again. And this becomes a public disgrace where you're fighting now in public. Whereas you knew that this person that you married was a womanizer. Next point is, don't marry a narcissist. You know, marrying a narcissist, it means that you're in this relationship on your own because they don't care about you. They only care about themselves. They will lure you to marry them. But eventually, once they're married to you, it's all about them. This is someone that will even won't have your back when you need it. Because a person who's a narcissist, they won't show their weakness because they want to portray their greatness. It's all about them. Because every person around you feels like this person is a great man. But they don't know what's going on behind doors. And the next point is, don't marry a mama's boy. I mean, a mama's boy, you will be the other woman because everything they do, they have to tell the mom what's happening in your marriage. They have to consult the mom what's going to happen in your marriage. Sometimes you don't even know. The mom gets to know first before you get to know. Having a man that loves his mom and adores his mom is just wonderful. It's a beautiful thing because you know that they're just going to love you. But at times, there are these mothers that just don't give you a chance. In fact, it's like they're competing with you. When your man begins to worship their mother, then there's a problem here. He shares everything with his mother before you get to know. Things like decisions that both of you need to decide on, but the mother already knows them. This makes the mother-in-law start competing with the daughter-in-law. And you just wonder why. However, there must be a rule and a limit to everything. Imagine a whole grown man who cannot make decisions. That man cannot do anything without consulting the mom first. He's still a mama's boy. He's a baby. A whole grown man that's just married. So basically, there will be two women in the house. But of course, at the end of the day, you need to make those decisions. You're the one that has to make that final decision, what you want to do, in order to keep your home if you're married to a mama's boy. Practically, she's the one that tells him to jump. And he asks, how high? And you've got no say. Seriously? You don't want to involve yourself with a man like that. Because at the end of the day, he's just the other woman who is his wife. So the next kind of man not to marry is a perfectionist. I know there's nothing wrong with a perfectionist. That's who they are. Because a perfectionist will always make sure that everything is perfect, including you. Because he's very meticulous in everything that he does, including his home, his car, and his dress code. So you need to keep up with the whole thing. You may want to become that perfect person around him. But the nice thing about relationships is opposites attract. Sometimes you marry a perfectionist, and as long as he doesn't bother you, then that's okay. Because in the beginning it would be something that you can cope with. But at the later stage it will stress you. So it's up to you. I'm not saying you should not marry a perfectionist. I'm just letting you know what you may face when you're marrying a perfectionist. And the next point is, don't marry a man who does not make you a priority. Everyone wants to feel special in some way. If you are marrying someone that doesn't make you feel special, why are you marrying them? Could be for their money or status. Yes, we live with those things. But behind closed doors, you'll be sad all the time. Or with all that money that you have behind the closed doors, you're a sad woman. Maybe you've seen this while you're dating, where he doesn't prioritize you at all. He'd rather be with his friends than you. Basically, it means that you're on your own in this relationship. It's just not worth it. So ladies, you're worth so much more than that. And you need to see that. And the next point is being married to an addict. This could be a drug addict, someone who's addicted to alcohol or maybe porn. You'll be dealing with so many things in your home that at the end of the day, it might mess up the relationship. Sometimes it could be gambling as well. You could be married to a man that is addicted to gambling. One day you'll realize that he's gambled your home, or he's gambled your car, or even you. This kind of a man just needs help. If he refuses to get help, then let him go. But if he's trying to get help, then you can stay with him. So help him towards his healing. If he doesn't want help, then let him go. There won't be progress in your home if he's a gambler. Every money that is coming in, he's going to gamble. So that is why you need to make that decision. Nobody's perfect, but there are things that you can live with, and there are things that you cannot live with. But at the end of the day, you have to make that decision, whether you take him as he is or you don't. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. God bless you.